Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another edition of Into the Void! It's going to be a matchup between CougarX and Blee here on Lost and Found, the latter edition. Yes, this was played during the 8th anniversary of StarCraft 2. That's what the fireworks are for, and that's why it says Happy 8th. Well, happy birthday, 8th. Alright, top right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player named CougarX, and in the bottom left-hand corner, it is the blue Protoss player named Blee! Okay, so Silver League level gameplay sent to me at falconpaladin@gmail.com with the subject of Into the Void. Very, very excited to bring this one to you. Should be promising. Should have some pretty interesting stuff in it as well. That's why we watch Into the Void, to see what's going on in those lower levels. Watch what is going on when you're a Silver League level player in StarCraft. It's been a while since you've probably been in Silver, right? You probably got promoted to Gold and then Platinum. It's usually where average people live out, is kind of in the Platinum Gold area. And it looks like a one gateway opening from both these players, both of them. Oh, no, actually, no gas from CougarX, which I'm worried about. And he's throwing up a pylon up here like he's trying to hide stuff. So let's see what he's up to. I'm very interested. It's hard to be too crazy if you don't have any gas as Protoss. So he's planning on like some hidden zealot rush thing. I don't think it's going to work out too well for CougarX. Blee, on the other hand, really should be either throwing down an expansion. Ooh, is going to throw down an expansion. Look at us, saving up those 400 minerals. CougarX is instead getting a cybernetics core with his no gas that's been taken so far. So pro tip, you need gas as Protoss. Unless you're going some crazy proxy gateway, which just means you throw up gateways at the front door of your opponent and just making zealots like that, which can work, by the way. It can absolutely work, no problem. Or if you're doing a mass recall play, you're making a ton of zealots and recalling them into your opponent's base by throwing up a nexus inside their base. We've seen that before. We've seen that in the Cheese compilation. I can tell you what. So both players are expanding fairly early here. Nobody's really making anything. That's a couple zealots just got started here. So pro tip, if you're trying to move up in PvP, trying to win those games, what you actually want to do is make either stalkers or sentries or adepts. Those things all require cybernetics cores. They all require gas. Zealots are not going to be very useful if your opponent went stalker, just because stalkers are ranged and fast and they will kite your zealots all day. Adepts too, bonus damage versus zealots can kill them fairly quickly. So your zealots in a normal game aren't going to do that well. It looks like Blee is making an adept here. Did you cancel that zealot and change it for an adept? Blee's been listening. Blee was listening to the cast and said, you know what, I do need an adept. I'm going to try to kill this pro. Ooh, two-shotting the scouting probe from CougarX. I like the scouting that CougarX has done here, because he sees everything that there is to see so far, whereas Blee is playing entirely in the dark. You guys don't play in the dark. At the very least, worker scout in the first couple minutes here and just see if there's any proxy stuff. If you get to your opponent's base and there's no gateway, there's no barracks, there's no nothing, you're like, okay, there's a proxy somewhere. You got to go find that. Do some searching around down here where your third base is supposed to be, maybe up here at your fourth, and more likely than not, you'll find something you can shut down and then often just straight up win the game. But it does require some scouting on your part. Gateway, robotics facility done for Blee, and a very quick immortal, a 3.5-minute immortal on the way here from Blee, which sounds very fun. I'm down. Again, it's blind. It's entirely blind. Immortal's just generally good against Protoss, just because there will be a lot of stalkers if your opponent is a standard Protoss player. However, if your opponent has a whole ton of zealots, your immortals will not do well, because they don't do bonus damage versus zealots, and zealot can kind of surround them and kill them. So we've got to watch out for that. Either way, are we working on Warp Gate? Tell me we're both. Yes, we're both working on Warp Gate, which is exactly what you want to do if you are playing Protoss. There's no reason ever to skip Warp Gate. Even if you're planning on going Sky Toss or doing some kind of crazy immortal push, just Warp Gate is going to be in such high demand for you later on in the game, because you need a mineral dump of some kind, and usually that just means making zealots. And if you can warp zealots in instead of waiting for them to build out of the gateways, you're going to have a better time. Scouting again. Well, tried to scout again there. Did CougarX. Blee's adepts obliterated that one. And it looks like as far as army supply goes, Blee is looking pretty fancy. Got a bunch of adepts. Got an immortal here. Supply blocked. Ah, Blee, that hurts. There we go. Throwing up a pylon to fix that. And not really chrono boosting the cybernetics core. Instead, chrono boosting what? Where are your chrono boosts going? Well, nowhere. Apparently, a lot of energy on both of these nexuses. Use your chrono boost, Protoss players. I know it's APM intensive, but it helps. It helps get this Warp Gate upgrade done more quickly. It helps get immortals out more quickly. And now, yes, canceling those units and actually upgrading his gateways into Warp Gates. If you're on 2 bases, you need more than what we have here from Blee. You need more than 3 Warp Gates and a robotics facility, you're going to start getting that money up there. Additional gateways, maybe 1 or 2 more robotics facilities will do it for you. It looks like CougarX is kind of having the same problem here. Starting to fill up more minerals, only 3 gateways and a Stargate. And, oh, and a Dark Shrine. Okay. This just got a little bit more interesting here. But yeah, both players are going to have a hard time spending their money because they don't have the production facilities required. Okay, so double forge from Blee. That kind of helps. Upgrades are good, but it doesn't help you spend... Well, it helps you spend your money, but it doesn't help get you an army out as fast as you need to. Single Phoenix flying around is going to see... All right, Blee's planning on taking a 3rd base here at some point, but it's not warping in yet. How's this natural base looking? Because I haven't had a look at it to this point. And yeah, there's Stalkers on the ground. There's Immortals on the ground. There is in production... actually, since there's DTs, is there actually an observer? There is an observer for Blee, but it's over here. Oh, it's scouting to see when CougarX is going to go for a 3rd base. Okay, I can't really argue with that, but the problem is there's DTs in your future, man. DTs are on the way. Both players floating around 1,000 minerals here. Blee's got 500 gas in the bank and is just going for a 3rd base and a couple more pylons. Again, more production facilities. That's the one thing I want you to take away from this Into the Void is more production facilities at all times. That's it. Just always be making more stuff. So both players decide to move out at the same time, which is always kind of entertaining. And here we go. Warping in. There's a shield battery back here, but it's kind of far away from this engagement. And here we go. Pushing in is Blee. Chargebot's trying to do some stuff, but again, getting wrecked by everything else there. That forward pylon takes some shots here. There are the DTs. DTs are in the mix right now, and I'm not sure that Blee recognizes what's going on. It does take a second sometimes to realize there's a Dark Templar inside your base killing your dudes because they're invisible. And you just think to yourself, well, these Stalkers are just doing way better than they should. And then suddenly all your stuff is dead. And you're like, hey, that doesn't make any sense at all. How did that happen? And the answer is Dark Templar without detection. Did he have... Oh, well, there's an observer. Did it just show up? It didn't really do a whole lot, as it turns out. So, Dark Shrine, here we go. A lot of Dark Templar, actually. I had this happen to me on ladder the other day. I was playing a Protoss, and I didn't scout the Dark Shrine properly, and like 8 DTs showed up in my main base and sniped my Spore Crawler, and then just killed my base. I was like, oh, that's a little different from a regular DT rush. They warp prismed right on in. It was really bad. I tried to come back from that, but it was really difficult to do so. And I ended up losing. Ladder can be hard, you guys. All right, so this is exactly it. There's one detector here, and you just kill it. Don't even lose the Dark Templar, because of course, why not? With 2 hit points on him, and then suddenly your 3rd base is in a lot of trouble. There's your observer is at. Oh, actually working on Shadow Stride. DT Blink being researched here too. Not bad control. Oh, don't. Okay, just go at this point. Run. There you go. Observer is set up in an observation mode, which lets him see fairly far. Look at that circle of detection that is available there. So good job pulling out, not just sacrificing all of your DTs. This should really put Blee into a make detection type mode. I wish I could say that I had done that very well. I think what happened was I tried to make some overseers, and for some reason they didn't make. I don't know if I put the wrong hotkey or what, but I trusted in my hotkeys, and it didn't work out. This is a very sad story, I'm telling you. Let's focus on the present here. CougarX making additional gateways, recognizing I'm sitting at 2,900 resources. If I had 2,900 more resources of attacking units, I'd win this game. That's how you have to think about this. When you have a bank, think to yourself, how much bigger would my army be compared to what my opponent has, right? And would it be enough to change the tides in this game? And often it would. Often, Blee is also having the same trouble spending his money, and so you show up with a bigger army and you just win. So there's your observer seeing the army moving out with DTs and Stalkers and Zealots, and going to push on this 3rd base. Now, these Immortals are worth their weight in gold versus the Stalkers that CougarX has. Although, but detection is also pretty good here. 2 cannons detecting at the 3rd base, 1 observer detecting at the front door of the natural. I like that quite a bit. Some DTs trying to sneak on in to the 3rd, but guess what? There are cannons now. Oh, you know there are cannons. Who's going to try to knock down the rocks? Oh, and then be able to sneak over this way and then get into this back area. I kind of like it. I'm kind of a huge fan of that. That seems fine. Meanwhile, CougarX pushing up, and he's just going to go. That cannon and that observer makes these DTs problematic. So they have the jump, the Shadow Strike ability here. Shadow Stride ability teleports the Dark Templar to a nearby target location. really closes that distance very, very quickly. And rocks go down. I might as well bring those other DTs in. This Immortal, though, has 4 kills. Like I said, DT is really worth their weight in gold. You can sneak these DTs down if you want around the backside. Get some stuff done. I don't think these cannons can reach all the way back here. But now counterattacking is Blee. Says, all right, I feel like I held that pretty well. Void Ray in production here for CougarX, which is okay. Warping in some units at the front here. Spend that money. Do it. Oh, it's going to be DT. DT are going to spend that money. Oh, Dark Templar trying to get into that third base of Blee. Shoved away. Shoved away quite nicely indeed. Oh, caught these Stalkers coming home. One of them gets picked off. Maybe even two of them getting picked off. Blee's in a great position, but here come the Dark Templar. There's the Observer. Come with the army, Blee. There you go. Coming with the army now is the Observer for Blee. 2 base to 3 base. CougarX is in a lot of trouble, but he's trying this Dark Templar thing. And there's the Shadow Stride getting into the back area. Getting into the backside of that army. And the Observer is still here. The DTs are not detected, but the Observer's not coming with the army. That's a huge problem. And everybody dies as a result. The Observer says, oh, wait, was there a thing? Did I miss a thing? Oh, I'm sorry. It's surveillance mode, not observer mode. My bad. My bad on that one. All right, so Blee has 3 bases, but he hasn't saturated it at all, which is a big problem for him. He really needs to have workers on that third base. Blee's up 50 to 38 harvesters, but he's oversaturated on both his main and his natural. He needs to transfer some workers down to the third. Remember what I said about this backside? That DT is hacking away. Oh, but it has vision. Oh, the cannons provide vision of areas that they can't reach necessarily through shooting. And that was that DT's downfall, as it turns out. More Dark Templar wandering on in here. This isn't a huge army by any stretch, but Dark Templar are doing so much damage against everything that they see there. Wow! Suddenly that army's gone. The cannon's gone too, and suddenly the natural base is entirely undefended. Blee. Not quite sure what to do with this. Oh, depowering both of those warp gates. Did he leave the game? Where are my notifications that someone left the game? What? Yeah, that's it. I guess that must have been Blee GGing out, which is, I mean, obviously very fair. He had 2 observers remaining. But look at this money. Look at this money. 5,000 minerals and 1,600 gas for Blee. That could be 1 billion zealots. That could be so many stalkers. That could be 14 more observers. That could be stuff you could use to survive. CougarX sitting on 4,000, 2,000 as well, so he's not exactly innocent of this. But Blee especially, he's got to go back and watch this and say, what happened to the... How did I lose? And the answer is money. The answer is money. Had the warp gates over here, didn't really use them. I mean, all of them are on cooldown. He's got the available supply to warp stuff in. He was just too busy microing and not doing as well on the other side. All right, well, pretty fun one. Little Blink DT action for you in this edition of Into the Void. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /FalconPaladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.
And so you must run, and it's taken your heart and broken your soul. You cannot go back until you're made whole. And you're running into the void. You go searching into the void to find a place you can live. Is it just an illusion? When push comes to shove, there's a light upon you, and you follow it on. Looking for a reason and a way to atone. All around you, the planets and stars, you're lost in a maelstrom of a great new unknown. And you're running into the void. You go searching into the void to find a place you can live, a place you can love. Is it just an illusion? When push comes to shove, and you're running into the void. You go searching into the void. And you're running into the void.